Well, here we are, another week. And can I just say something? We've won a game of football.
Hey.
We've won a game. Harley, quickly explain. We've won a game of football.
I don't know.
It's happened.
I don't know how it's happened because of all the teams in the world we could have we beat the team that are a division above us.
And second.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like, unreal.
We've won a game. And can I just say to all the listeners, I'm sorry we are starting the podcast a bit differently, but that is our first competitive win with the new crest. So it's actually happened. We have won a game of football. All right, it was the leasing.com trophy, but us Stevenage fans will take it, fellas. We'll take
momentum, isn't it?
That is momentum. It is momentum. But for all the listeners, welcome back to episode number 16 of the Stevenage Football Club podcast, hosted by myself and Borough fan Matt Farley, along with guests of the podcast discussing everything Borough, everything League Two, every week of the season. So welcome back. With me today, I've got podcast regular, Harley Clark.
Hello.
Welcome back, mate.
Pleasure to be here. I've actually made it 2 weeks on the bounce again.
I know, you had like a little period out, didn't you? And it was a bit concerning, but it's good to have you back, mate, and we've won.
I know.
It's like a relief.
Trusted to be the game that we have no fans at.
I know, we had 16. It was. Do you know what?
Great turnout.
Didn't they say 30? They said 30 on like the...
Yeah, I don't know what they were on about there. We actually could count. It was like 16.
Count the stewards or something as well.
But it'll probably go down as one of the best away days this season, probably. For what it's worth. But great to have you back, Harley, mate. It's great to have you here. And we're good mates. I know that we're up against each other in the charity game. But
I wouldn't call us mates.
No, would you not?
Acquaintances.
Well, I'll take that. I'll take acquaintances. Also, a massive welcome today. We have got a brand new guest. I love it when new guests come on the podcast. Massive welcome back to Borough fan and Borough employee, I must admit. Yeah. Callum Emerson. Callum, welcome, mate.
Right, cheers for having me on tonight, yeah.
No, it's great to have you, mate. It's great to have you. It's good to get new people.
Listen to these podcasts, it's always something I've been wanting to be a part of. It's good to actually be here and, discuss it with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I remember you wanting to get involved right at the start of the season, didn't you? So it's quite nice to have you on. We ask every new guest, Callum, how long have you been supporting the club?
So when I was like literally little boy, I'd say about 3 or 4. My gran brought me to my first game, and we'd usually come once or twice a season. But I remember the first game. This is when we was in the Blue Square Premier League.
Oh wow! So it is many years. Yeah, wow. So that is a long time.
But no, I went to watch us win the 2009 FA Trophy final as well
against York City.
So yeah. So, because I do remember that, because first time I ever went to Wembley as well, and hopefully it's somewhere will be somewhere near in the future again.
What, the leasing.com, do you mean?
Yeah. Trip to Wembley, I take it, yeah.
Well, mate, I tell you, now we're second in the group, anything can happen, mate. But it's great to have you here, mate. And you have listened to the podcast, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's good to have you on, Callum. But thanks for joining me, lads. It's quite a good podcast. Now, obviously, we've recorded our first competitive win, but we'll come on to that a little bit later because we have got a game to discuss, first of all. A bit more of a disappointing game.
Yeah.
We did, in fact, lose our 12th League Two match of the season last week, away at Colchester United, 3-1, 1-0 at half-time. We all thought, learn your lesson, boys from Cambridge. Don't go and throw it away. And what happened? 46th minute, goal. And it was just gone. Harley, I'll come to you first. Bit of a disappointing performance. And the team looked shot for me with 20 minutes to go. What did you think?
I agree with you on that. I thought first half we were quite good. We weren't amazing, but we looked like we were comfortable on the ball. We looked like we could potentially get a couple more. Because I didn't think Colchester looked all that when we first started. Then obviously gets into half time. I've seen you back at the bar.
Oh no! Don't mention this to the listeners, please don't.
I'm going to say it's Farley's fault. He goes, Farley goes, I think we've been playing really well. just don't throw it away. Gone back into the terrace. I look up. Oh, it's 1-0. I look over, see Farley in the back corner. and he's trying to hide away from what he said.
To be fair, I will take I will own this, yeah, at the bar. I did say, no, do you know what I said? I can remember it now. When we come in, I'm going, that was an unbelievable half. I looked at the boys and went, I can't see us losing. I cannot see us losing this game. I went, we are definitely not going to concede in this game. We come up with it, and he's looked round, Harley has, and I've just put my hood up like that because I just know what I remember saying. But it was disappointing, though, wasn't it, to be 1-0 up and to throw it away.
But I think there are a couple of positives to take away from it. We did look good on the counter in the first half. Cowley looks like he's fantastic.
Another goal, isn't it, for Cowley?
Another 2 in it now.
Yeah, definitely. No, I thought it was. I agree with you. I thought the first half we played well, like got the goal, created a couple of good chances. But do you know, to me, it just seems like with 20 minutes to go, we've done it in a lot of our matches. I felt like we just ran out of steam a little bit. I don't really know what happened.
I don't think it was a penalty either.
Did you not? Did you not? I couldn't really make of it really.
From where I was, because I was sort of relatively in line with when the penalty was given, and it looks like Farman misses the ball, but he also misses. Was in Newell.
It was, yeah.
Newell went down, but it looks like he doesn't jump over him, but he doesn't get him either. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Sort of just gracefully falls over him.
Yeah.
But Delano wasn't really the best I've ever seen.
He was missing a lot, wasn't he?
Get a lot of stick for the first goal as well, because I know looking back at it now, the first goal, I know Saul was played their player on the side, but he was getting quite a lot of stick throughout the game because I know some of the decisions that he made was
he was a little bit slow at the play. But I think, again, just what disappointed me is it was a bit like Cambridge. We went in 1-0 at half-time and we thought, right, consolidate, don't let any silly goals in. And what happened? We let in a goal straight away. There seems to be, I don't know what it is, I'm going to read out a stat later when we get onto stat talk about the last 20 minutes with our team, but we just... to me, we just looked like we ran out of steam and we had nothing left. When the second went in, I said to my dad, I said, you know what, I think we're going to lose this 3 or 4-1. You could just see it going one way. Callum, were you at the game at all?
Yeah, I was there.
What did you make of it?
Going into this game, so actually I've got personally just a bit of family rivalry in this game.
Oh, really?
So, yeah,
really have it? Oh, that was really interesting.
So, because last season, I took all the bragging rights, and best moment of my life was when we managed to completely scrap out a 2-1 win against them. But going into this game, because it's funny, because last season I went into Colchester away with no confidence. I was like, we're going to get absolutely done it.
Yeah.
But we won 2-1. So going into this game, I was full of confidence, thinking I think we can actually get a result here, because Cambridge the weekend before, really positive game. I mean 1-1 draw, but we looked really, really strong. And first half, Cowley goal. A little bit scrappy, a bit lucky with a deflection going on.
We'll take all that we can get, really.
Take a goal. But yeah, it was a really good, strong first half from the team. And I went into half time, I was thinking, what we can actually win. Like we actually might win this game. And like you said, first minute back, goal goes in, and I'm just like, oh, not again.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a recurrence.
And we just seemed to never pick up from that point. And I do add, coming from your point, the players looked out of steam, and they did. They looked really, really tired.
Yeah, it is a concern, and I think the consensus is, on the majority, we seem to start games quite well. Again, I'll come on to the stats later, but we scored quite a few goals in the first 15 minutes. It's just the last 15 minutes of matches. And it's strange for me, because if you go back to last season, again, I know that we did let in a few last-minute ones, but we did score quite a lot, didn't we? So it's kind of been a role reverse this season. I don't know if it's a mental thing, or I don't know what it is, but it was disappointing to see the third go in. And another loss, no win in the league. It was disappointing. 24th with 5 points. The gap's getting bigger, isn't it? Which is a shame. Now I will come on to the 3-word analysis. We have got quite a lot. This is the most amount of 3-word analysis, and you two are involved in this.
No, really? Wow.
Yeah, you are.
I forgot what I said.
Let's have a look what you. Yeah, it's very good. it's very good.
How many of these involve English? Sorry. How many of these involve words that you couldn't put on the podcast?
There was about 2.
Oh.
Yeah, the swear.
A little less than expected.
Yeah, very true. But I'll quickly
less than normal.
Less than normal. I'll quickly fire through the 3-word analysis. We've got loads again. Callum Jackson said, get experienced manager. Hartley Borough, time for change. Patrick Jackson, same old story, seems to be one. Nate, same old rubbish. I had to change rubbish. I had to change that to rubbish, sorry, because Nate did put something. Sorry, Nate. Reece Donnelly, it's nothing new. Jack, we are pathetic. Jed, optimism killing me. Nick, save us Wesley. Nathan, Ian Holloway in. Reece Harrison, National League coming. Callum, here we go.
Hello.
Very frustrating game. Harley, hope is lost. I think it was after Saturday, wasn't it? Balders said, clueless, shapeless, passionless. Danny Lusby becoming a joke. Old Borough Bar Steward. Fergie's hairdryer required. That's a bit of a different one. Craig Keenan said, smelling is winning.
That was from Samson's post-match interview.
Oh, you're right, it was. Yeah. And the Stevenage fan zone said, for God's sake. So we're going to end off that on the 3-word analysis. But thank you to all the listeners for sending that in.
I think, though, in mine, after saying that, we're going to win. So I think I've got...
Yeah, why not?
Can I say something like... Because from half of them, there's going on to a point, like, a lot of people seem to be wanting Wesley back.
I know,
so
it seems to be.
instead of Samson keeping that role. So
we are going to get onto Graham and discuss that because I have seen some things. Yeah. Now, obviously, we moved on from Saturday night and, you know, all very disappointed, low in confidence, not just from the team level, from the fans level. But last night, the beauty of the leasing.com trophy has handed our football club with our first competitive win with the new crest, with Samson in charge, with this team. We went to Wickham last night and won 1-0 thanks to a Jason Cowley goal. Again, 3-3, a great header. Putting the team second place into Group O on 3 points. What are our thoughts about this, fellas? Our first win this season. Are we happy?
Yes and no. I'm happy with the fact that we've got a win.
Yep.
But it's the leasing.com trophy, which I hate.
It's such an ambitious tournament. What are you on about?
I hate it with a passion.
Do you hate it?
Yeah, because if we went back to the old knockout format that it was, then it'd be fine. But B team shouldn't be in it because it's not their competition. They're not professional footballers. They're youth level footballers at professional clubs. There's a difference. I
do agree. It has an argument that's why people boycott it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why it's called the B team boycott.
Yeah.
But the trouble with it is, if not, Reece is quite good on this because his opinion on it is, if he genuinely felt that his attendance made a difference, he wouldn't go. But he's saying they don't get massive crowds for the games anyway. Until you've reached like the area semi-final or the final or Wembley, you're going to only get like about 900,000 fans at the games at Stevenage because no one cares about it because it's rubbish.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, if you win, you get 10 grand.
It's £10,000, yeah, which is a lot for our club.
It's a lot for a club of our standard. So it's a mixed bag, really. Like. Yeah, you want your team to do well in it because it's money for the club, but the format isn't right.
No, I do see your point. There is an argument, obviously, that people boycott it because these under-21 sides, etc. You know, it's a football league competition.
Don't think that's anything against the under-21s because they're just doing what they've been told.
Yeah, no, exactly.
They have their own competitions for stuff like this.
Do you know what? I think it was massive, that win. And again, I know the competition format, people, don't like it. For me, it was a massive win, and I tend to find that the team kind of forgot how to win in a way, the first 3 months. The one thing that I thought was really important was, again, not just the win, but if you have a look at Borough's campaign as a whole, including the pre-season, we haven't beaten anyone of our level, really. I mean,
no.
If you look at the pre-season, we didn't beat a Football League side. We went to St Albans that day, we still didn't win. I think the last time we beat a Football League team was Cheltenham last season. Yeah. So for me, that was a massive hurdle to cross. And what I was really happy with is that Mark went there and he didn't play a reserve team. He played nearly a full team to get a win, and that was so important. Callum, what are your thoughts on it? It's a big win in terms of the team's point of view, but just to have it on the table and at the club is massive, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna mention, like, I was when the announcement came up on the team selections, I was expecting Bastian and goal, so some younger players to be out on the field, but when I was quite surprised when I saw that he played most of the starting 11 that we usually have, because I think it was only like 3 changes from Saturday. So because I could tell like he actually wanted to go for it. I mean, regardless of the competition, you know, we've got that win under our belt now.
Yeah, and £10,000 richer. You know?
Wickham didn't exactly play a weak team.
They didn't. No, they didn't.
And you know, it's, you know, win's a win at the end of the day. The more you get, the more the merrier.
Yeah, I agree.
The win can take some confidence into Saturday against Grimsby, and regarding it being like, you know, the Leasing.com trophy, you know, it's not always the most popular of competitions, because I mean, I saw something, it was like the last match day, it was like 7 or 8 clubs recorded their lowest ever attendances. So I know it's not really that ambitious until, you know, you get to the area final, you get to Wembley, but, you know, picking up wins, it's going to be a lift for a team that's in our situation. Maybe, you know, for like the high flyers of League Two, you know, it's a competition, you know, you can sort of pass up on if you get a win, you know, happy, you know, it's right, a little bit more money in our pocket. But I think right now, absolutely crucial win to head into Saturday with. So.
No, I completely agree. I think for a team in our situation, I think that match last night was actually really important. And I'm really happy that he played the team he did. We've got a win. We've got that in the bag. We've got that monkey off our back of, when are we going to win a game? We've got that. We just need to somehow transfer that into the league form and try and platform ourselves off from that win. I've got to be honest though, the performance, I went there with Amy last night, the performance was really good. The football we played was good. Cowley scored a great goal. And I got to be honest, we could have scored a few more. It was a really good performance. Jamie Fielding played, he was excellent. Played right back and got forward. He looked really good. He played Kellen Watts in the midfield, in front of the back four, had a great game. And then he brought Adam El Abdon and Nugent, and it was really, really good to see.
Sorry, can we just mention a certain someone who we had a little bit of stick from last week?
Yeah, I was just about to mention him. You go for it. Go on.
I think Arthur had probably one of the best games he's ever played last night.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Arthur played well.
Ignore the haters.
Yeah, I mean, because it's almost like he's a good footballer, and playing in a side that was playing well would obviously help.
Would obviously help, yeah.
Can I just add onto that as well? Like, so, you know, with his performance, because any footballer at a professional level, like, you know, they're gonna, you know, I think
you have a you go for a run.
Yeah, one half of it, I think you should, you know, expect criticism, but the fact that the criticism that he was getting was so harsh, that's what I don't agree with. Like, you know, if it's constructive criticism, you know, you tell him like, oh, you know, you did well this, but maybe you could be a bit better at this. I completely
agree. I think that would be
But there
more
was some
successful.
Some people were making some absolutely disgusting comments towards him, which shouldn't be done. I mean,
it's okay to criticise his performance as a footballer, but it's never okay to criticise him as a person.
Do you know, I will mention it on here. I think I mentioned to you boys at half time. I was walking down to get a drink at the bar and actually bumped into his dad. And his dad listens to the podcast. I can't remember what his dad's name was, but we had a really good chat, and he spoke a little bit about thanks for sticking up for Arthur, etc. And we had a chat, and we said it there. You know, Arthur's 18. The thing is, what people forget is once he's 22 and 23, then you fully assess a player. Right? But 18, what a lot of people forget is, it's a credit that at 18 he's playing in the league, right? Because you've got to think of it, right? You've got players like Cuthbert and Timlin in the same team. They're 30, they're in their 30s. Arthur's 18, he's playing at the same level. So you'd like to think that when he gets to 25, 26, he's going to be playing a level above. So
he
won a lot of people
forget.
Of the
year last year,
he did, yeah.
So he's got to be doing something like to be in the first team of a professional football.
Exactly, at 18, 19. But he played really well, and he come off at the start of the second half. He played really well, and he was actually used as a centre half. With Scotty Cuthbert, he was brilliant. And I think, again, with Mark, I think an improvement. I think it's good that he's playing alongside players like Cuthbert and Timlin and Guthrie and Nuge. They'll all, guide him along.
Yeah, good leadership there. Yeah.
I tell you, it was a massive win. I'm so happy we've won. It's just a relief. It was great when the referee blew the final whistle and all of us 16 Stevenage in the away end went, yeah, like that. It was great. But Mark came over and shook our hands after, which was really, really nice. And yeah, monkey off our back, which is we just need to do it in the league, don't we?
Going back to Saturday though, I'd like to say one thing which was really nice to see. If you went on the coach to Colchester, Mark Sampson and Alex Revel actually came over and said hello to us before we all left, and actually came over and shook our hands. And I've never seen anyone do anything like that before, and I think it's showing that he's really, really committed to this club, and he really wants us to do well. And he's
that's the thing I like about Sampson. He's got a good personality. I actually, from what I see, no matter what the result, he cares. He wants to do well. He wants the club to do well. He wants the players to do well. And that way, showing interaction with the fans. Like a couple of weeks ago, he was on the podcast. So
he was great as well.
Him getting involved with the fans this much, it shows that from my perspective anyway, that he wants to be here. He wants to be our manager.
The thing with him is, it seems like he's got a real passion and a love for the club, which rubs off on all of us supporters. And I think a couple of things that he does really well is he connects with the fans and he contacts the fans and talks to the fans, which is, a massive thing, because our football club is more successful when it's like a family and everyone's all in it together. But a lot of people say that he's not an experienced Football League manager. You've got an argument for that. But what people don't say is he's really experienced in football. Football doesn't change. There's different levels to it, but you're in football, and he's been at the elite in football. So
people forget that he's been at clubs like Swansea.
Yeah, he's been involved in. Well, am I right in thinking that? I think is it? I can't remember.
And whatever
the name.
Club that sent Reece into shock last week, a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, Taswell.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The Wellmen. Yeah. But I think he was appointed by. Is it Matteo? I can't even say his name. Matteo at Swansea at the time. Di Matteo, that was it, yeah. I think so. He appointed him as well.
He was. I know it's obviously youth level, but he was Bristol Academy manager.
Yeah, man, he's done a lot in the game, and do you know he's taken a little bit of stick after Saturday. I can understand people's noise, but I think it's tricky. We haven't had any wins. I actually think last night's win in the trophy showed how good of a manager he actually is, because I remember listening to his interview after Colchester and they asked him about Tuesday. Normally any other manager would probably go, well, we're going to give some minutes to players that haven't played, but he actually went, no, that's a really important game on Tuesday, we need to try and win. And I thought, yeah, do you know what, he's done the right thing going on to that and playing the first team as he did,
approaching every game, grabbing it by the horns, tackling whatever comes at it.
But he says the right things, doesn't he, in the interview? All the time.
I've not heard him have a bad interview yet.
Because it's not like I wouldn't say like he doesn't sugarcoat it.
No.
But he isn't like brutally honest. So he knows
he's
where
got
that
he's got the balance.
He knows where the line is.
If I was a player of Heath, I would run through every brick wall going. He's that type of manager where he instills a love into the players. And now that we've got that win, Saturday, Port Vale, Swindon, all the massive matches we've got against the teams around us in a month, I think the players will really try and rally for him in the next few months and try and get the club off the bottom.
I can certainly see like a more positivity within the players, because
most certainly.
Yeah, but so it's really good to see.
I think that was abundant again last night, but we'll move on from last night. We'll take that, fellas. It's been great to come and do a podcast and say we've won a competitive game of football. That we'll always remember that match last night, especially for the 16 of us that travelled there. And it was a really good night. It was a really, really good night. Now we'll move on. We're sitting here with 3 days till arguably probably our biggest match this season so far, our 13th League 2 match of the season at home against Grimsby Town. Now, this is a massive match in my opinion. We've just come off the back of a win. Massive game. If we can get a win and get 8 points beneath the club, get us off the bottom and give us a platform to really go into these tough fixtures and try and improve our form. Harley, I'll come to you. It's a massive game. Although Grimsby have lost their last two competitively, what are your thoughts on this Saturday? I know that we all want to see the win, but I think it's important just not to lose, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the trouble is, I think all of our difficult games are all hitting us at once. So August was always going to be a tough month, and I was very surprised that we got a couple of draws against
with the injury list.
Yeah. But I think it's must win.
Yeah, do you think?
To be honest with you, I mean, it's all well and good. I think it's all well and good saying as long as you don't lose, but we haven't actually lost that many games in terms of how many games we've drawn. We've drawn quite an equal number of. I think we've lost 7 and drawn 5.
We've drawn 5 games. It's a positive.
It hasn't been a complete disaster.
It's not like we've drawn. It's not like we've
exactly.
drawn 2 and lost.
Yeah.
I don't know, like 10.
I know I could be really picky about it, but if you actually look at the games played, we've picked up half the results in half the matches, if you know what I mean, because we've got 5 draws there, which is a positive for the club, to be even the team.
But no, I think it is must win because you can only draw so many games against the big sides. But if you want to be pushing, because I still think we've actually got the chance to get in top 7 this year.
We'll have to come with a big run.
It's not impossible because I remember
it's
it was
not
like
impossible.
a couple of seasons ago. Like Plymouth, they had an awful run at the start of the season, didn't they?
You look at us.
It's all about making, and this is why I'm really happy with last night's win. It's all about making winning a habit, and once you make a habit of it, the team won't stop winning. And I believe that. I agree with you. I think that will happen to the team. I think they'll go on a run in the winter because I think we're a winter team. To be fair,
granted, they did run out of steam towards the end, and we obviously didn't get promotion. But you look at when Darren Soul came in. I think it was his first full season when we were. Yeah. We were third in the league for.
I know we were escaping for Portsmouth, weren't we?
Yeah, we were third in the league for a long time. Like towards the end of the season, like a good 3-4 weeks. Obviously, granted, it did fall apart in the end. But we've done it, and but that season we'd been sitting in like 14th, 15th all season. Then we just killed a massive run.
I agree with you. I think it could happen. I just think for this Saturday, I really kind of believe that it's kind of make or break. If we can just not lose, if we get a win, brilliant, 8 points, first win in the league, that'd be great to get a win at home because I tend to think that teams that are struggling, those home points, you have to start picking up results because that's what saves us. Even just a draw, don't lose, but if we lose, I think it could be devastating to the team just after getting a win.
I think it could be devastating for Samson.
Yeah, I think it would be devastating for Samson as well. What are your thoughts on it, Callum? Obviously, we're bottom, 5 points, 5 draws, need a win in the league. It'll be our first win if we can get it. Grimsby, again, started really well, but the last 2 matches, obviously the EFL Trophy lost 3-2 and obviously losing last week 1-0. What are your thoughts on it this Saturday? Must-win game?
I think it can be. So, because it would be really, really important to get the 3 points. But I'm torn because 3 wins must win. But I think if we draw, it has to be convincing. So like if you know we're keep on piling the pressure, make ourselves look like we're like
a bit like Bradford, but
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think if it's a performance where we've been on top of them and we've been unlucky not to win, then I agree with that.
Yeah, but if we lose, yet again depends how. But I'm not sure if a loss because I don't know if it will affect Samson being at the club or not next week. But I think it's definitely a really, really important game, and going into it, we shouldn't have an attitude like, you know, if we win, great. If we lose, doesn't matter. Yeah, we have to, you know, as I said before, grab the bull by its horns, and we have to go for it. And I think generally we have good games against Grimsby.
Yeah, we do.
Especially at home, no, but we seem to win at home.
Away last year.
We won.
That was a really good
game. Yeah, 1-2-0.
That was the start of our
little push, wasn't it? Yeah, that was a really good away that Elias scored and then Curtis, didn't it? But no, I agree with you two fellas. I think this is a massive match for us. One thing I will say as well is obviously after this match we've got 2 really tough back-to-back away matches, Port Vale and Swindon, which I think one of them's winnable, but they're both very tough games. Yeah. The period for me is actually the end of the month. We've got Morecambe, Scunthorpe, we've got the FA Cup, Oldham, Walsall, all back-to-back, and they're all just above us. And for me, that little period there is we've got to pick up a few wins. So if we could just get a win on the board before that pack, puts us in a good position to hopefully leapfrog those teams. It's going to be tough. I think we all know the strengths that Grimsby bring, but I'm confident in our team, and I think that win last night would have done the team a whole lot of good. Now we'll come on to our team selections. Harley, we'll start with you first, mate, on your team. Tell us what team you choose for Borough Saturday and a quick explanation for who you've chosen.
Farming in goal, because it's Farming. Although I wouldn't be surprised to see Bastian.
I know you like a bit of Bastian, didn't you? I remember last week saying about Bastian.
Not because I think he's better than or as good as Farming, but Farming's on
a lot of yellow cards.
A lot of yellow cards.
he got booked last night.
Yeah.
He did. I think he's near suspension.
Oh, Farmer's been good. No,
again, it's not this time wasting, isn't it?
I'm saying, time wasting.
Yeah. Do you know, I'm sorry to butt in, but it was really funny actually. The ball in the first half, someone had a shot on the other team and it went out and it went into the stand, and there were 16 of us. Farman come over and started talking to us, and we went, no, we're not going to get the ball. And he went, no, it's fine. Just keep the play slowing down. Don't take your time getting the ball. It was really fun. And then I think it was Reece that went, don't get booked again, and he started laughing. It was really funny, yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm going three at the back.
Yep.
Because from what I know, it's the cup, but I wouldn't mind seeing on Saturday Scotty, Nugent, Arthur.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like that.
Because I think it's all well and good.
What about Hanson though? With Arthur marking Hanson, would you put Scotty on him instead?
I'll put Scotty on him.
Yeah. Because that's a threat. Have they got Matt Green as well? I think they have.
But yeah, but then you've got Nugent as well, haven't you?
Oh yeah, you stick Nugent in probably, didn't you? Yeah, that height for height, isn't it? Yeah.
Arthur's more there because if you want to ping the ball out of the box, Arthur I'd say is the most technical of the lot. He's probably got the best chance of putting a relatively decent long ball out the box to Cowley or someone. So yeah, I'd go three at the back.
Okay.
But usual thing, we've obviously got fullbacks who can drop back as make it a 5, or we can play 5 midfield.
Yeah.
So wing backs, hopefully he's back, Wilding. I don't think he will be, but if not, I'll have Carter on the right. On the left, Stokes. Although I would like to see Denton actually get a chance in the league. And then centre mids, I was going to pick Hussein, but then he got announced for Afghanistan.
Yeah. Fair play to Noor. He's gone out there representing his country, isn't he?
So yeah, I mean, I'd go Saws. I'd also put Kevin Watts in midfield. And then Guthrie behind Cowley and Kennedy.
Okay, yeah.
I'd like to see Kennedy start as a striker again. Because I think people forget that's where he started when he first came through at Stevenage. He started playing as a striker. I remember the game, and I say it every week because I really like Kennedy, and I know he's a luxury, and you know obviously he doesn't have the best games every week, but when he's on fire, he's unreal.
He just needs I think he just needs to run a matches, doesn't he? A run of good performances. Because I remember when he came back into this season and he played a couple of games against Bradford, he looked really good.
Yeah, he did.
Looked really good, and he just don't know if he's gone off the boil again or.
I think people forget he's also still relatively fresh from an injury. You know, he had a fairly bad injury over the course of the end of last season and the summer. So I know, obviously, if you're fit to play, you're fit to play. But confidence is always going to be an issue because you don't want to injure it again because you know how bad it can be.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. That's a really good team now, especially with Cowley up there as well.
Cowley's been unreal.
Can't stop scoring goals, can he?
Even if Newton's back fit, you cannot drop Cowley.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. 3 and 3. But really good team, mate. Really like that. Callum, I'll come on to you, mate. Have you done us a team selection and tell us why you've done that team?
No-brainer in goal, Farman. But yeah, because I haven't had a chance to see Bastian yet, but I think
quality.
He's a lunatic. I reckon he is.
It'd be nice to see him because hopefully, because I probably will be going to the Fulham under-20 Islands game. So hopefully he does start then because I'd see a bit of him there. But yeah, Farman in goal. I've gone 4 at the back.
Yep.
So Stokes on the left, but so we've got Stokes on the left, Cuthbert and Nuge in the middle.
Yep.
But I just want to add something. So I do think Stokes is a bit more suited to like a central role. But I think because we've got Cuthbert and Nugent, who are probably more preferred in that role.
They are.
So I think
they're very suited together. They've been a pair for 2 years.
But I don't disagree with you having your 3 at the back. and having Stokes as a central role, because I remember what game was it he played in
Forest Green, he played.
Forest Green.
He was brilliant. Yeah,
he was brilliant. He was absolutely solid. And on the right, so I've done this team in case Wilding isn't back. I've gone Carter at the right back, because when he has performed there, he's performed quite well. So yeah.
Trouble is, we have got right backs who can play, well, full backs that can play there. We've got Denson, obviously. I know he's a left sided player, but he can play right off.
There are a few players there that haven't played a lot that can play there, like Fielding and Rollinson.
Rollinson hasn't made an appearance this season, right?
Yeah, it's a good point. But it's just whether they're fit. Well, I'm sure they're fit enough, but
Fielding could start.
Played well there last night. Yeah.
So I've changed the midfield and attack literally like halfway through this podcast, because I was
it gets me, mate. Honestly, it always does me as well.
Because I wasn't sure, but what I'm gonna do is I've gone for 4-3-3, and so it's more. So I've gone Saws and Timlin, back a bit, and I've actually gone for Taylor.
Oh, okay. He played really well when he come on last night. Actually, he scored the first up.
Because I know a lot of people I know that have given Taylor stick, but I think like up until the final product, I think he's really good. Because he can run. I think he can pass well, but I think it's just shooting. He just needs to just nail that. I
like that you said that he's not all that when it comes to the final bit. But if you look. Everyone has said about him, yeah, he's a good player, but he's not a very good goal scorer. They said, but when he does score, he scores a fantastic.
He scores bangers, doesn't he? I remember him coming on in the opening League 2 match against Salford, and he looked half decent. I remember saying to someone in Sandringham, going, he looks a half decent player. But I agree with Honey. I think he's the type of player who will score a screamer and win you the game. He seems like that to me. I remember seeing the goals when he joined, the goal for Bradford, where he picked up the ball from 40 yards and scored. So with him, that's not a bad chance to play him. He comes across as a player that will get you a win, and it'll be one of the best wins of the season because of that goal. I like that you've played him. I like Paul Taylor. Seems like a really nice guy as well. Gets involved with the half-time challenges I've seen.
So I think definitely Guthrie up top, and I've gone for Cowley and List as well. Like not necessarily designated wingers, but I think they're definitely more suited to like wider roles than Guthrie, because they've got a lot more speed on them.
So I prefer sort of Guthrie playing off the actual striker, because I think Guthrie's hold-up play is unreal for a man of his height.
He draws a lot of fouls.
Like what Reese has said, he said he refuses to believe there's someone as tall as Guthrie in football that has such good footwork as him. And you always see it, because like from his height, you'd expect him to be a lot better with his head. But his technical ability with his feet is
brilliant. He does keep the ball, and he draws. Do you know what? I want to see a stat. I want to find out a stat that who is the most fouled player in the league. I reckon it's him. Surely he draws so many fouls because he's so good on the ball.
Yeah,
he draws tackles,
but he doesn't get given.
Yeah, no,
he doesn't. I mean, look at all the penalty shouts.
Was that like Leighton Orient away, wasn't it? Like we had the penalty and he got taken away.
But Southend in the case, been so many cases.
There's been a lot. Yeah,
but I like that team.
I haven't included Kennedy or Ironton in the starting 11, because I know, with Ironton, I say give him a sub, because he did play against Wickham, and I wasn't there personally, but from what I've heard, people said he played quite well. So hopefully he's builds up a bit more confidence from that. And then he when he comes on, hopefully he can perform better like he was last season. Kennedy, as you've said, and a couple of other people have said, he's a luxury we can't afford to have at the moment.
I think you can afford to have him, because I think you need that sort of big name player in the squad. Because I remember when teams like City were coming in supposedly were coming in for Kenners, and Liverpool were interested, Spurs were interested. So he's obviously got something about him, because I know obviously you have moments, but well,
I do. It's a weird one with Kennedy, because as you said, one game he could be poor, but then the next he could have a brilliant performance.
It'd be man of the match for Hash.
Yeah, I think it's important to keep Kennedy, because one other thing as well is I think he's so talented, and we've seen all the quality. I always remember the goal against Southend and against Luton away, and so many good goals. And I think that he can be built to a really good player, and I just think he needs a run of matches behind him where he's had good performances.
Yeah.
I think there's been performances this season where he's been very good. Again, I use Bradford as an example. I thought he was excellent. Nearly got us a point when he hit the bar, and I just think he just needs a run of matches of good performances. And once he does that, I think you could see the outcome.
I'm not saying completely out him from the team, but I think as with someone that can have, I want to say someone is inconsistent. I don't want to call him inconsistent because that's harsh. But I think we need players who perform better constantly at this moment in time.
Yeah, I think it's important.
As soon as we pick up a streak of wins, then have Kennedy on starting more and more. But I think it's more important that we start players who perform better
consistently.
Yeah, I think to get out the rock we need good performances now, don't we? But really good team, Callum. I really like that. My team is a little bit similar to yours too, but I've gone with a different kind of thing. Again, no brainer. I've gone Paul Farman in goal. My back four, I've actually gone Kellen Watts at right back with Cuthbert, Nugent and Stokes. The reason why I've put Watts there, obviously if Luther's fit, Luther goes in, but the reason why I've put him there is the height of Grimsby. And I think the back four need to be all tall on Saturday because there's going to be a lot of balls going into the box. And with Watts, Cuthbert, Nugent and Stokes, there was a period against Colchester actually where in the first half, Colchester kept hitting these long balls and we were just winning the ball every single time. And looking at the way Grimsby play, they don't really get the ball down on the floor at all. They just go to Hanson. So I think it's important having a tall, strong back four. So that's why I've included Watson. He played really well last night. Midfield, if he's fit, and I know we say this, our team's I've actually gone, if he's fit, I've gone for a bit of pace. On the right, I've actually put List. If he's fit. I don't know what's going on with List. I'd put him on the right. My two in the middle, I've gone Tom Sawes and Timlin. I thought them two together in the first half were really good on Saturday. Until Sawes got injured. Again, I don't know if Sawes is fit, but I think he just went up as a precaution. So I'm putting Sawes and Timlin. I like that experience in the midfield. They seem to run the game last Saturday. Great to see Sawes back and play as well as he did, so I'd play them two. On the left, I've actually put Denton.
Yeah.
A bit of pace on the left. And he played last night. He was brilliant. But I would like to see Denton get forward and get crosses in the box. He's got a lot of pace. He's got a good left foot.
He's definitely better at attacking than he is defending.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have a left mid that has the ability to defend as well.
I completely agree. Well, that was my point. With List and Denton, I'd like to think going back, they'd track really well. And I like a Borough team. I mean, we've had many in the past in the conference days where there's been a nice balance either side and there's been two really fast boys either side of the pitch. I like that image, and I think with him out on the left, I think he'll produce a lot of quality and get involved in really good performances. So I've put them two. And then I've gone Jason Cowley and Curtis Guthrie up front. I think them two have been brilliant. I was really impressed that Guthrie assisted for Cowley last night, and they've kind of slowly but surely there seems to be a good partnership building up there with them two. Cowley's learning, and again I like kind of Guthrie being a mentor to Cowley. I like that because obviously Guthrie's a leader. We all know that with Curtis. I like the fact that he's kind of, I think Cowley said in an interview last night that Curtis is kind of leading him a little bit, and I like that partnership. That's kind of shaping up to be a really good partnership.
I think it is important because I know Cowley, he's been really impressive, but he has come from was it the 10th tier of English football?
Yeah, Bromsgrove.
And for him to step up to League Two, it's a massive leap. So he is what I've seen him play. He's brilliant, but I do think it's still important for him to have some guidance from a person who's been in the Football League and this level for a little while.
I completely agree.
He's got that in Guthrie, so
and also he's got it in Alex Ravel as well. Revs is the assistant, and there'll be a lot of conversations going on. So, but no, really good to go through the teams, boys. Hopefully that team can get us to 8 points, so we can all be 3 points healthier. Now I'll come on to some stats. Actually, I'm quite proud of this. I've done a bit of homework. Actually, I don't normally do this. Now I've got some stats for Borough and I've got some stats on Grimsby. I'll start with the stats on Borough. Now I've said on many podcasts that I follow this stats website and it tells everything of all the stats, any team in League Two. But obviously I always look at the Borough ones. Just a few stats on us that are Some are interesting and then some not so. But they've got kind of like league tables of, home form, away form, offence, defence, and it kind of gives you a good indication. Obviously, bottom of the league table form after the last 8 matches, we're actually second bottom. Morecambe have been worse than us in the last 4. We've picked up 4 points, they've picked up 2 points over the last 8 matches. Well, I didn't think that. I thought we were the worst, but it's actually been Morecambe from the last 8 matches. So, interesting that. Leighton Orient, third bottom of that, which is 6 points, yeah. So I know they won on the weekend, but dropping like a stone. But yeah, second bottom. The home form, a worrying thing, bottom, with just 2 points. And that's what I'm kind of hoping. Get a win. That takes up to 5 points at home, makes it look a little bit better. That's a stat that we really need to start improving. Teams that are down the bottom, improve the home form, and that will get us climbing the division. The away form, second bottom, 3 points. Scunthorpe are bottom of that with 1 point. Quite an interesting one. Now, this is the one for me. Offence, joint bottom with 8 goals. Now, that's been an issue for the full season. I understand the first 4 or 5 matches we didn't score at all. We just need to put the ball in the back of the net more, don't we?
Easier said than done, by
I know. It is easier said than done. For me, that's been really the only issue. And when we start scoring more, we'll start winning. It's very frustrating.
I do want to add though, because it's been good to, because I know people are saying, as soon as we start winning, we're going to get winning, and people are saying the same thing about us scoring.
Yeah.
And soon, exempt from except from like a couple games, we've been scoring. So if we can do that, hopefully we can take that to our win as well.
No, this is what I was going to come on to, and this is quite impressive for a team, obviously, that we're bottom. We've got the 17th best defensive record in League 2, which I understand is still bottom, but that is quite an important stat. We've only conceded 18 goals. For a team that's bottom, that hasn't won, that's not bad. I'll give you an example. Morecambe are bottom on 24. So we've conceded 6 less goals than Morecambe and we're bottom. So I think all we need to do is the output the other end. Once that increases, you can see Stevenage are going to go on and win a load of matches, as we know we are at Bar. But that's an interesting stat for me. Now, this stat I actually put out on Twitter, and it's very interesting. It actually tells you the story in our matches. It's a goals per time segment kind of stat. The first 15 minutes of matches, we've scored 1 goal and we've let in none. So it kind of shows that our good periods are the first 15 minutes of matches. If we could just score a couple of goals in those first 15 minutes, we'd probably win a lot more games than we do. From the 16th to 30th minute, we score 2 and let in 3. So again, not terrible. So first 30 minutes, arguably, there's a good term of form. From the 31st to half time, we've got no goals to 2. And this is where it really does turn. From the 46th to 60th, we've conceded 5 goals. So that 15-minute period straight after half time seems to be a killer at the minute.
Because I think they're just coming straight back out. So I think that they might not be prepared for something that the other team have.
But it's frustrating. If we could just consolidate for that first 15 minutes, we'd have picked up more points.
Get her back in the game.
An interesting goals per time segment. From the 61st to 75th minute, we've scored 3 and let in none. So it shows that we start the second half poorly, but then there's a period where, again, we improve. In that 15-minute period, we seem to score quite a few goals. But this is it. From the 76th to the 90th minute, we've scored none and we've let in 8. So
I think that's when we've been more out of steam and we've been a bit more complacent.
Well, that's it. There is obviously, for anyone wants to realise Borough's issue in terms of the minutes in the game, you look at that, 8 goals in the last 15 minutes. It just seems to me that the team just run out of legs or run out of steam. I don't know what it is. It seems like a mental thing as well. But yeah, 72% of goals conceded are coming the late time of the match. So it's something that we need to improve on. That's why I was really impressed at Forest Green, where we kind of didn't let in for 80 minutes. And I think we need to adopt that approach of keeping it tight for 8 minutes and nicking a win. But interesting to go through them. Quick stats on Grimsby. Obviously, Reece did this last week. But I have got some stats on Grimsby, very interesting. Grimsby Town, obviously, manager is Michael Jolly. So I think they've had Jolly for a couple of years now, actually. We seem to do quite well against him. So, interesting, he's still manager. Their away form, Grimsby, they've won 3 out of 6.
a bad record, really.
No,
It's not terrible, not brilliant, but then again they've won half, so not terrible. They have had some good wins. They won at Exeter a couple of weeks ago, thrashing Exeter, scored 3 past them, looked really good. But then on the other hand, they lost at Forest Green, which was the place where we drew. So interesting form away from home. Scored 19 goals, let in 14. So scoring 19, I think they're one of the highest scorers in the league. They've scored more goals than any one of the top 3 teams. James Hanson, top goal scorer with 5 goals, 3 assists. So obviously we know that he's going to be the main man. But looking at their form, they're a bit hot and cold, almost like Colchester. They've lost, then they've won 2, and then they've lost. So it's going to be interesting Saturday. But, again, we've got to see how it comes at the end of the 90 minutes. But no, really tough game. It'll be good to see how the team do. But really good to go through those stats. I was looking forward to reading them out, actually. I've got a little bit of homework on it. Now we'll come to the next feature, which is the League 2 Roundup section. Now this is when we discuss everything League 2. We've got many stuff to get through in League 2 today, especially the competition, which we'll come on to in a little bit. I'm going to hide my fixtures just so he doesn't see them. Cheeky. Now, I'll quickly go through some of the results from Saturday's fixtures. Obviously, we all know the Borough score being 3-1 to Colchester. The scores were Bradford 2, Swindon 1, Cambridge 2, Macclesfield 2, Crewe 1, Exeter 1, Forest Green 3, Crawley 1, Grimsby 0, Mansfield 1, Newport 1, Carlisle 0, Northampton 0, Leyton Orient 1, Oldham 1, Cheltenham 1, Plymouth 2, Scunthorpe 2, Port Vale 3, Morecambe 1, and Walsall 0, Salford 3. Any surprising results in there, boys?
Salford game, yeah.
Yeah, Salford, yeah.
3-0 at Walsall.
The one thing about Salford though, I do find it quite amusing that they were at the start of the season that bookies' favourites to win the league.
Well, we lost them on the opening day, didn't we? And it was a bit like, oh.
I mean, I know, as it's still a long way to go, but for the how low their odds were to win the league, it's quite amusing.
They were about 3-1 at one point.
Yeah, 3-1.
Weren't they? There's some good. Scunthorpe nicked an equaliser in the last minute of the game, 2-2. Leyton Orient beating Northampton away. That's a good result.
Yeah.
Mansfield beating Grimsby. Obviously, Borough got Grimsby this Saturday. Crewe and Exeter 1-1. That kind of had drawn out all of it. And Bradford beating Swindon 2-1. Swindon have dropped in form a little bit recently, and we've got them coming up. We've lost their last 2 games
on a Tuesday night again.
Exactly. Our back is to win there. Now, league table as it stands. I'll quickly start from the bottom as I do every week at the minute until we turn it around. Currently in 24th place, very disappointing, as we all know, is Borough on 5 points, which is, we want to try and improve that, don't we? Second bottom, 23rd place with 7 points is Morecambe. 22nd place also with 7 points is Scunthorpe United. 21st place with 11 points is Oldham Athletic. And 20th place with 13 points is Leyton Orient. So you can see that if we can just get a win at Borough, get up to 8 points, from 5 points that we're on, hopefully, be able to surpass them. Up the top of the league, very competitive. Now in first place, with 24 points is Forest Green Rovers, so they've overtaken Exeter. Second place with 23 points is Exeter City. Third place with 23 points also is Newport County. Fourth place with 23 points, Crewe Alexandra. Fifth place with 22 points is Cheltenham Town. Sixth place with 21 points is Bradford. Seventh place with 20 points is Swindon. And eighth place with 19 points is Colchester United. So very tight up the top. It's disappointing to see with 15 points off 7th, isn't it? It does put it into context.
But at the same time, that's not a massive gap, really.
It's not.
That's 5 wins.
Yeah.
Granted, I know the other teams have got to lose 5 games, but
it's still possible.
It's still really, really possible. I know we're bottom, but it's not like we're bottom on 2 points after 13 games, sort of thing. Then you can look at it and think, you know what, we're in real trouble. But I don't think we're going to go down.
No, neither do I. I think it's a good start. Just a quick mention for the goal scorers. We've got the top 6 here. Currently 6th, 5 goals, 3 assists is Ryan Broom of Cheltenham. 5th, 5 goals, 3 assists is James Hanson, who Borough will be facing on Saturday. 4th, 6 goals, no assist is Jerry Yates of Swindon. Third place, 6 goals, 1 assist is Bez Lubala of Crawley. Second place, 7 goals, no assists is Owen Doyle of Bradford and Swindon because he's on loan. And currently top place at the goal scoring chart, 7 goals, 1 assist is Danny Rose of Mansfield. So nothing's really changed there. Hopefully Jason Cowley can get into that list some point this season. I'll quickly fly through the fixtures just before we get into the League 2 prediction competition for this weekend. Obviously Borough at home against Grimsby. Fixtures this week are Carlisle versus Crewe. Cheltenham v Newport is postponed due to international call-up. So Cheltenham Newport will be playing each other. That would be a massive game as well. We've got Crawley v Colchester, Exeter v Forest Green, that's a cracking game. Leyton Orient v Walsall, Macclesfield v Port Vale, Mansfield v Oldham, Morecambe v Bradford, Salford v Cambridge, Scunthorpe v Northampton, and Swindon v Plymouth. So some big games. Exeter Forest Green's first v second. Exeter have had some tough games, haven't they, recently? Another one that sticks out, Salford Cambridge, looking like to be a good game. Obviously our game at home against Grimsby. Swindon Plymouth will be tough. Some big games there. Now it is time to move on to the Stevenage Football Club podcast League 2 fixtures prediction competition. Now, it has been quite, interesting weekend, a high-scoring weekend.
It's been a very high-scoring week.
Harley's very happy because Harley had a good score, but there were some absolute fantastic scores from the weekend. Now, I will really, really quickly go through the league table, which has been, again, a massive hit with Harley, isn't it, Harley? Let's be honest. It's always been a massive hit with Harley. Now, the league table, as it stands, we'll have a big round of applause for each player. Currently 15th with 19 points is Jack Slater. Come on, Jack.
Never get certificates to him again.
He did. I'm going to have to start kicking people out of the competition, I think. In 14th place with 23 points is Colleen. Well done, Colleen. Go on, Colleen. In 13th place with 55 points, forget his predictions, is Borough Bits. Well done, the Borough Bits. 12th place with 55 points, also forgetting his predictions, is Charlie Vaughan. Well done, Charlie. 11th place, doing really well with 85 points, is Nate. Well done, Nate. 10th place, now on 101 points, is Reece Donnelly. Oh, Reece. Unlucky, mate. 9th place with 121 points is Mark Slater. Well done, Mark. 8th place, 130 points, Ollie Long. Well done, Ollie. 7th place, 132 points, Aidan Cheevers. Well done, Aidan. This is where it gets interesting. 6th place, 132 points, James Walker. Coming back into 5th place with 137 points is Danny Lusby. Well done, Danny. 4th place with 151 points is Hartley Borough. Here we go, top 3. In 3rd place, 2 points ahead of Hartley with 153 points is Matt Farley. With the clap, Harley. In 2nd place, 171 points is Patrick Jackson. Go on, Patrick. And currently top of the hill, 188 points is Harley Clark. He's still there. Are you going to give the lead up anytime soon? Or?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I said to you at the start of the season, if I can consistently get around about 12 or 13 points a week, with the odd week where I get, say, like 15, 16.
Yeah,
I've got 17 points.
Yeah.
I think I could just be up there the whole entire
season. Do you know
season.
what will do you if you forget your predictions? Because that one weekend, as we've seen with a few people, it can do you like that.
I mean, Patrick's got a great chance to catch me.
I mean, how many points is he behind again?
17.
He's up 17, so it's not like you're 30 points ahead. It's see, I'm trying to catch Patrick up, I just can't do it. He won't budge. He gets the same as me.
It is a 2-horse race between me and Patrick.
I'll take 3rd place. I'll take the prize. A quick points breakdown. Harley got 17, Patrick got 12, Matt got 12, Hartley got 15, Danny got 16, James got 0 because he forgot his predictions, Aidan got 11, Ollie got 9, Mark got 22, Jeez. Reece got 13, Nate got 23. Big scores. Charlie got none, Borough Bits got none, Colleen got 14 and Jack got none. All the nuns didn't send in their predictions, which is not exactly surprising, is it? Now, me and Harley have got our League 2 predictions. Now, Callum, I understand that you're not involved, but we can get you involved if you want to get involved on Twitter and Facebook. I will tweet you. Now, Harley, fly us through your results, mate. No explanation, fly us through.
So, Carlisle Crewe, I've gone 2-0 Crewe.
Nice.
See, Cheltenham game's off. So, I've got Crawley, I'll go versus Colchester, I'll go 2-1 Colchester. Exeter, Forest Green, I'm going 2-all. Leighton Orient Walsall. I'm going 2-1 Leighton Orient.
Have you been reading my results?
No.
I feel like you've been reading them. This is ridiculous. We share the same brain.
I saw the Borough result, and that was it. Which got me a little bit.
Really, did it?
Yeah.
I've gone for it.
Macclesfield Port Vale, I'm going 1-0.
This is a joke. He's definitely been looking at my results.
Are you serious?
No, I'm joking. This is ridiculous.
Morecambe v Bradford, I'm going 2-1 Bradford.
Oh no, it's just out there. It's just out.
Salford Cambridge, I'm going 2-1 Cambridge.
Yeah.
Scunthorpe Northampton, I'm going 1-0 Northampton.
Okay.
Stevenage, I'm going 2-1 against Grimsby.
Okay.
Swindon versus Plymouth, I'm going 2-0 Plymouth.
Okay, some really interesting results there. A few very similar ones to me, but no, really good predictions, mate. I really like them. I'm going Borough 3, Grimsby 1. I'm going for it.
Jason Caliatri, yeah?
I think that after last night's win, I think the team might put a few past them and get up to 8 points and get a platform for the club. I've got a really big feeling we might score a few goals on Saturday. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I'm going 3-1 Borough. I'm throwing it out there. My predictions are Carlisle 0, Crewe 2. Obviously Cheltenham postponed against Newport. Crawley 0, Colchester 1. Exeter 2, Forest Green 2. Leighton Orient 2, Walsall 1. Macclesfield 1, Port Vale 1. Mansfield 1, Oldham 2. Morecambe 0, Bradford 2. Salford 0, Cambridge 0. Scunthorpe 0, Northampton 1. And Swindon 1, Plymouth 1. So yeah, similar predictions, but a few outgoing ones. That was really, really good. But good luck this week, and I hope I catch. I'm praying I catch
I
up.
would wish you luck, but I don't want to lose it.
Oh, mate, you don't have to wish me luck at all. But no, really good to go through the League 2 round-up and discuss everything with the league table, etc., and goal scorers and prediction competition. So if you want to get involved in the Stevenage FC podcast League 2 fixture prediction, please tweet us on Facebook, because again, it's 3 points for correct prediction, 2 points for half a prediction correct, no points for a wrong prediction. Every time you get a prediction correct on Borough, you get an extra bonus point. So please get involved. It's a great competition. Bottom place gets a wooden spoon and the top 4 get prizes. So yeah, it's going to be good. So please get involved. Now, been going about an hour, boys. We'll move on to the last feature today, which is the Q&A section. Now, this is a chance for fans, non-fans to send in questions for the panel. We've got some good questions today, actually. We've got quite a few. I think we've got about 2 each, so we'll try and fly through these as much as possible. Now, Harley, I'll come to the first question for you, and this is sent in by Callum Jackson, and Callum's asked, do you think if Sampson fails to beat Grimsby, will Phil Wallace sack him?
I don't think he'll get sacked.
Keep him at the club, surely, right?
But I think there's a possibility that he may resign from caretaker role. Do a bit like what happened to Sol. You know, when Sol obviously took over management role, but he didn't want the management role. He was just sort of the only choice we had. Yeah. And when it came to it, he went back to being academy head, wasn't it?
I think we offered him a job at academy, and then all the stuff that happened, didn't it? With Brown, yeah.
So I think that could happen to Samson. You know, something along the similar lines, because that's the sort of person you do not want to get rid of from the club at any cost.
I completely agree. I think a few people said this, that with Dino happening what happened to Dino, they also blame Sampson. But I don't really, because he's a coach, but Dino at the end of the day was the person that wanted the team to play the way they did. It wasn't Sampson's choice. You can actually see a difference to football with Sampson. So I would, if that happens, which I'm kind of hoping it doesn't, because I want Mark to succeed, but if it does, I'd definitely keep him at the club as a coach, 100%. Do you know what? I'd even actually keep Alex Ravel as well. Yeah. As well, I'd keep both of them. But really well answered, mate. Next question is coming to Callum, and this question is from Michael Stojsavljevic. That was on last week. I've got it right. Go on, Stodge. I can't believe I got Stojsavljevic right. Up the Stodge. Michael, you're gonna be really happy I got that. And Michael has asked, how many goals will Cowley get this season? Now he's got 3 in a row.
100.
Whoa, wow, that would be...
I do think he can actually compete for top scorer.
Yeah.
Like he's 3 and 3. That's pretty impressive, and considering it's at the start of the season as well, not just like the back end of it.
It's not a bit like how Godden was when in Godden all of a sudden just burst through and just scored like 18 in his last 23 or whatever it was.
But no, I do think he can get in mid-20s easily.
Yeah.
With the right support.
Was again Godden did it, didn't he? When Godden came into the league, so
you can easily get 20, at least like right now, 25 goals. I personally think anyway. So
really good answer.
I think it's got a really good chance.
Now, next question is coming to me, and this is from Ian. So Boulders, well-known Boulders. Hope Boulders is having a good time in France. I heard that he's gone out to France.
Yeah,
is that right?
And where he's staying, I think it's his like family home or something.
Oh, I saw him at the game Saturday, so I don't know if he comes
back.
Yeah,
he comes back every now and again.
Wow.
Well, do you know? I could do that.
Yeah, do you know what, Boulders? Massive respect, actually. We are hosting, I will quickly say this before I ask this question, we are hosting at the Stevenage Football Club podcast Supporter of the Year. And I've got to be honest, I think we're going to involve Boulders in that because fair play to Boulders, living it out in France. I'm sure he's having a brilliant time at those vineyards and coming back to see the team lose. Fair play, I tell you what, that's brilliant. But Boulders, and he's a big supporter of the podcast, he listens to it. So Boulders, I'm going to answer your question. Boulders has asked, how many points does Sampson need to get from our next 4 games if he wants to keep the job? That's a really good question. The answer is, I think he needs a win. I think that's obviously evident. He certainly needs 3 points to be able to keep the job a bit longer. Looking at the next 4 being Grimsby, Port Vale, Swindon and Morecambe in the next month, I think Phil Wallace would like us to beat Morecambe. To be honest, I think that's really has to be a win that day, and I think he'd like another win. I think in order for Sampson to keep the job, I reckon 6 points. I reckon half the points from half of those matches. I think that's a fair enough point tally from where we are now. That puts on 11 points after 16 games. I think that would be an improvement. I think anything less, there's a little bit of a concern, but I think Phil from the next 4 would like to take at least 2 wins. So me personally, I think win this Saturday and win another game, hopefully against Morecambe, and I think 6 points would be possibly maybe even 7 points would be good enough to keep him in the job. But really good answer there, Boulders. That was a really difficult one to ask, especially with us not knowing anything with Phil Wallace. Now, Harley, this next question is
fantastic.
Is a really tough question, actually. Now, this is from Oggs. And Oggs has asked, I asked on Borough Chat, you and Harley thought the sacking of Dino was justified back at the start of September, as we might end up going all the way to October without a win if he'd stayed. As we are in October without a league win, are we any better off? It's a good question.
I think footballing wise we are. Obviously results wise we ain't. I think the trouble with Dino was it was a bit like when we were losing, we weren't trying new things to necessarily try and get a point or a win from the game. But I find with Sampson, although we're sticking to the same style, we're getting goals. Under Dino, we weren't getting goals.
No, we weren't even having shots, were we?
Yeah. And, we're playing a new style of football. Yeah, go on, it's gonna take time. But I said at the start of last season, I'll support Dino all the way, but I don't think he's the right choice as a manager. I think it was more of a who can we bring in to boost morale at the club, and obviously like around the fans on it. But no, I think we are better off because I think we've got a better. As much as I like Dino, I think we've got a better coach.
I've certainly enjoyed the football a lot more now.
Exactly.
It's been a lot more. Let's be honest as well. There was a lot of games last season. There were some great wins, but there were also some really poor performances, like Cambridge home and away. There were a lot of bad. Bury. Yeah, I mean that performance. So you go back from last season as well. There was a lot of poor performances as well there. So, and to add to that as well, actually. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. I actually think the players like Mark Sampson more.
Yeah,
I think that the players deep down probably didn't really like Dino as much as people thought. And I actually think when Mark came in, it was a breath of fresh air for some of those players, and they started feeling loved again. I don't think they felt loved under Dino. I'm also going to answer that really quickly as saying I do actually think the team are better off. I think if Dino was here, I think it would be worse.
Yeah.
I think the team would all be falling out. I think people would be wanting to leave in January. And under Mark, okay, we're not doing great, but he's got the team together, and there's an evolution going on now, you know. So I think that the team are much better off without Dino. I know that we've still had no win, but there's been massive improvements in the football, and I think us Stevenage fan can say, you know, there's been some really good performances. Forest Green away, Cambridge in the first half, Colchester in the first half, all but the second half performances. There's been some improvement, but really good question from Ogs.
Really good question.
Next question's come for you, Callum, and this is actually a question from me, because I've been doing my homework actually. This is a question from me, Callum, and I'm going to ask you: teams that have finished bottom over the last 3 seasons have averaged a points total of 36, 38 and 40 points. How many points based on this season do Borough need to stay up, considering the last 3 seasons?
What mark is it that we've said? It's usually about 50?
Normally 50 for 2 teams to go down, but because there's only one team...
True.
A couple of seasons ago it was 36, 2 seasons ago it was 38, and last season it was 40
So
points.
what was the question? Was how many do you think we
How many
need?
do you think we need to start considering that the last place has been averaged from 36 to 40 points?
I think I'd say around. I'd definitely stick around the 40 minutes, 40 points.
40 points?
Yeah, I'd definitely say around the 40, maybe 42, because you know there's one less relegation spot, so it's going to be a lot tighter for the relegation spot this year, I believe. So you definitely want to get more points, because I don't think at the end of the day, whatever team gets relegated this season, it's going to be a bit embarrassing because you're the only team that's going down. So you haven't got another team going down with you to sort of soften the blow.
I think it's cut the deficit.
Yeah.
I mean, considering our season, sorry about him, but I think it's massive that only one team's going down, considering the season we're having, isn't it? But really, really good answer. Really, really, just wanted to see what you thought on that, because it's interesting to see the points though. Last question's coming for me. Now, again, someone sent in a question and then deleted the question. So I see it and then I couldn't see who had sent the question in because they deleted it straight off. I don't know why it keeps happening. Or it might be a problem our end, I don't know. So this question I'm just going to read is, for me, question was, which period of fixtures could be Borough's biggest run of points? It was a really good question as well. I think the periods from Morecambe, Scunthorpe, Oldham and Walsall could be our biggest run. I think that they're on paper our easiest matches, and I think that is a vital period of our season. We are playing the teams that are just above us in the pack above, in the league above almost, if you like. We need to take wins over those fixtures to save our season. So I think that period will be probably our run of results, where I think we'll pick up some points. However, I do think over the next 3 games, I think some of those matches are winnable. Swindon away, I know that's tough, but they haven't been great. And Port Vale away.
We can usually get a result at Port Vale.
We normally do, won there easily last season.
Last season, yeah, it was a great game, that, yeah.
So I think that period, I think November along with the FA Cup is a really big month. So
also we've got we've got Newport, Forest Green on Boxing Day as well.
The December period, but I think a period where Borough will pick up quite a few points is that November period where we play a lot of those bottom sides. So, but really good question to whoever that was. I'm ever so sorry that's deleted, or it might be a problem on our end. But thanks to the fans and listeners that sent in their questions. That was really good. We had about 2 each, lads, which was really, really good. Now we've come to the end of the podcasts. Another one done, really, 16. How do you feel, considering we started this off 2-3 months ago?
I think it's gone really well.
Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a bit of negativity on Borough Chat, but that's...
Richie Rich?
What
is he rich or is he not? I don't know.
He's definitely rich. Whether he's Richie Rich is different.
Was it Matt, you know nothing, was it?
Something like that. But,
Do you know what? I'm going to reply to Richie Richards? I know it's all banter. But when Stevenage go up to mid-table and Mark Sampson's still manager, I'm just going to put Richie, you know nothing. But no, Borough Chat, isn't it?
Borough Chat. It's toxic.
I think I went on it once and I just said never again.
Stay away.
Yeah, I've done that.
There's some really nice guys on there, but there are some...
Yeah.
Mickey taking people on there for their age. It could be,
I guess it could just be looking for a reaction, I guess, but
it could be, yeah.
They could.
But I think considering the amount of players and people, Mark and Rev, listening to the podcast, I think we've done a great job, mate. I think
we're doing all right.
I thought we were going to get shot down in the first month.
Yeah,
it seems like people have got on board with it. But as we do to end every podcast, obviously Saturday's a massive match. I think we can all agree with that. I think it's make or break. I think, you know, as long as we don't lose, if we lose, I think it's devastating. If we can get a win and get 8 points beneath our club, it gives us a platform to go into those away matches and try and get a win to put us in a good place. I ask this at the end of every podcast. I know that it hasn't really come off for us much, but I'm going to ask for you boys one word. Harley, I'll start with you. Win, draw or lose Saturday? Win. Oh, is it going to be a win?
It's going to be a win this week.
It's going to be a win. Callum, win, lose or draw?
Win.
Win? I'm going to say win. Why not? I say it every week, but I think it's important for the boys. But thanks again to all the fans and listeners that got involved with this week's podcast. I'm ever so sorry that it's been quite a so short one. We've been going nearly an hour and 15 minutes. But a bit of a kind of lesser featured podcast. Next week we will have the return of debate, which will be very interesting. Now, Harley, you don't have to be involved in that if you don't want to be. We're going to have the debate. We're going to have fans' voice back next week. So hopefully we get Nate on the old fans' voice, which will be really, really good.
I think we shouldn't call it fans' voice, just call it Nate's voice.
Nate's voice, the Nate Corner, whatever he wants to be called.
Most importantly, hopefully it's off the back of a win.
A win. And I will promise the listeners, I'm going to promise the listeners something right now. If Borough win Saturday, we are bringing party poppers and balloons to the next podcast. I am making that. And if we win, we're going to start the podcast with everyone popping the party poppers. I'm going to make that a promise. But come on, boys, get a win. If you are listening, boys, please get us a win and get us off the bottom of the table. It would be great to get the team and the club a win. It really would. But thanks to all the listeners for getting involved. It's been a really good podcast to discuss everything Borough, everything League Two. We'll be back next week for our 17th podcast, so we're nearly near the big 2-0. We will be discussing hopefully Borough's win against Grimsby and the massive upcoming match to ruin Tom Pope's party, hopefully, against Port Vale. Once again, thanks to all listeners. We'll be back next week for hopefully a really exciting podcast and more debates. Have a really good weekend. Have a glass of wine, a victory wine on Sunday when the boys get 3 points. Just before we go, actually, I did see on Twitter earlier that it was Victory Wednesday today, something we've never had, it feels like, for years. But we had it, so hopefully it'll be Victory Sunday on Sunday. But enjoy your weekends, enjoy the game. Come and say hello to us at the game if you know who we are at the podcast. But have a really, really good weekend, and we'll see you back next week for episode number 17. Thanks for all listeners. You've been listening to the Stevenage Football Club podcast.